You can be wanting to be an entrepreneur, but you can't possibly be arrogant to think that you know everything. So what I recommend to most people is you must start from the bottom and learn every possible inch from the bottom up. I always tell the story that I know how to do every possible part in every part of my company. I have incredible people that work for me, but I know how to do their job because I've done it, and it was that experience. So to tell you my story briefly, I was a clothing designer, and I had my line at Nordstrom, and then September 11th happened. And it basically killed my business in one day, like it killed so many people and so many dreams. And I decided to take 6 months off to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And I met my then boyfriend, now husband, and kind of decided to veer into a different craft, open up a store. Huge mistake. I think it's important that through your life you make tons and tons of mistakes, because that's probably the best way to learn from them. So I opened up a retail store. I opened it up on the 4th floor of the 900 building. Didn't do my market research. Didn't realize that nobody shops on the 3rd or 4th floor from that mall. They only go to the Bloomingdale's and J. Crew, right? Yes? Yes. So we closed that shop in 6 months. And at that time, we were living together, and I decided to make a nameplate with his name on it. Just for myself. I wanted to be, quote unquote, pinned. You know, in the 50s, you kind of were somebody's girl, and everybody was wearing nameplate necklaces at the time, and I decided to make a Rob necklace. And everybody was like, your name is not Rob, I don't understand this, what is going on? So I kind of told him the story, and every girl that, I came in contact with, I have a boyfriend, I have a husband, I have, can I get my dog's name on it? And we just started doing a small little business. And from that small business, I made a few more designs, and my husband said, we have something, we need to get on a plane, we need to go to LA. This is very cool, hip jewelry, and it needs to be connected to the people that are going to really represent it. We kind of taught ourselves, to make a long story short, we got into Fred Segal right away. And if you shop and understand the business of fashion, Fred Segal is an incredibly important store to get your product in, for the main reason that every celebrity under the sun shops there. And if you are lucky enough to get into that store and they buy it, they will get photographed, and it will be very important to your business. About a week after we brought our line into Fred Segal, Cameron Diaz came in and she bought my whole line. And I didn't know that at the time. I mean, she came in and she bought the whole line. And 2 weeks later, there was a premiere of Charlie's Angels, and she walked out on the red carpet and she broke her shoe. Many people don't know this. You may have remembered her in her white short dress and ponytail, but she broke her shoe as she came out of the car. And if you've ever read the book Tipping Point, this was my movement to the tipping point, because she asked all the photographers to please take photographs of her from the neck up. And for a jewelry designer, that was what we call the money shot. And that was 2002, and that photograph was everywhere. And in 3 months flat, we were at Neiman Marcus. And it's been 10 years of incredible growth. I do this all in Chicago with an incredible team. We do everything in-house. We just recently moved our PR to Los Angeles, but before 6 months ago, we were doing it all on our own. We didn't ask anybody for anything. I did not start with a lot of money. Today, we're actually in over 200 stores. I don't really listen to what other people say. I have blinders on. I have my focused. I don't care what the trends are. I think it's important to have that instilled in you, that you're the only person that's really going to believe in you. I knew that going into this business I was going to hear a lot of no's, and I'm completely okay with that. There's two things I'm afraid of: flying and doctors. Everything else, I don't care. And I think that perseverance, has taken us to this level. We work really, really hard. I think if you have people talk about a dream, and I think it's very successful people have dreams, but they also have a clear vision on how to do it. And you also have a clear vision that you're going to have to do the work. There isn't a syllabus that I could give you and tell you how it's done. People, call me and say, well, can you hook me up with the buyer at Neiman's, and can you do this, and can you do that? I won't, because nobody did that for me. And I think if you have talent, people will find it, they will do it. If you become an entrepreneur, and it's not for everyone, believe me, it's kind of shaking hands with the devil. It's giving up your soul. It's giving up everything, your time, your effort, your freedom in a way. But the payoff is amazing. You leave off a legacy. No matter what happens after, today, I have a 16-month-old, and I say, Mom has done all of these things on her own, and I can teach her. But it's important to know that it's possible. That's the thing. I think, when my parents came to this country and started from nothing, and now my mother is a doctor, and my father, interesting story, is in business with me. About a year after we launched the company, I called him. He was a big manager at Motorola, working there for 15 years with their Mercedes business, and I said, Dad, you need to come and work with me. You need to close the door to your corporate world and come work with me. And he laughed, and he was like, are you crazy? What are you talking about? And he said, well, jokingly, he said, send me your books. And at the time, since I was by myself really working, I documented everything, every, coffee I had at Starbucks, everything. And he was so blown away that the next day he quit. And he left his luxurious job, his 401k, and on and on and on to build this company with me. And, I say to him, he has the perfect world. He's like working with 9 gorgeous women every day. He works in the fashion business. He flies to, Dallas and New York to meet with Neiman's and Bergdorf's. And it's kind of a nice retirement in a way. And he works with pretty products. It's interesting. We are in Chicago and we're doing this. I do dress and have many celebrities as clients, but we never gift, ever. We make them buy everything. And the best reason that I do this is when I'm at a grocery store and I see somebody walk by in my jewelry, and I stop everybody, no matter what, no matter how I look like on Sunday, shopping at Trader Joe's. If you're wearing my jewelry, I'm going to stop you. And that's why I do what I do. When I remember why I do what I do. And after going after Johnny, I'm like, oh God, I do such shallow stuff. I create things that people want. You do not need the stuff. And I remember I was talking to a woman who was going through chemo, and then I started crying. I said, I should have been a doctor. I should have been this. I'm doing such shallow work. And she said to me, I go to chemo every day across the street from Neiman Marcus, and I have to go through Neiman Marcus every day after chemo, or else I'm going to kill myself. Because I have to see the pretty. I have to see beauty. I have to go see a movie. Because that's what life is all about. We need that, and we hopefully need people who create art and pretty things as well. So, it's a flip side. I think that all I can say is it is important to network, but it's important to have a focus. It's important to find your calling, but also to understand that with it comes like the reason why people need it. You have to bring out to the world something that people are going to want and need, buy, or be interested in you. And we're all very special. I believe that everybody has something to give. I also started the Chicago Fashion Foundation about 9.5 years ago, and we give out scholarships annually to Chicago students, because I think it's really important that we all stay in this town. You know, we never decided to move to New York or LA to do this, and we're doing just fine being here. I think it's a fantastic town, and we want students to also, you know, come and stay here. So if you're definitely interested in fashion, retail, join Chicago Fashion Foundation. Thank you very much.